But what I was thinking is that even as the kid is sitting there after whatever the situation is, to know what they can expect from their parent is so important. Knowing that, when you try your best, you're going to get that bear hug that says, wow, way to go. Well done.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are. We're so excited to continue.
Someone should be like life lessons through sports and school.
I think Greg's trying to fill in my words because my mouth is like.
I got you, babe.
Thanks, honey. You always do. But life lessons again, as far as pressureless parenting, and we were talking a little bit about our Druce man, weren't we?
Yeah, it's so. I'm telling you, I love youth sports. There's so many great lessons that come through it when it's done right. And there's a few things that have happened recently. So Druce, we've mentioned this on some previous podcasts, but he got himself into cross country because it was like the only sport. Never done it before, but it's competitive, and he's such a competitive kid.
Understatement of the world.
So then he's been doing cross country, and I made a little deal with him because he's been working hard at it, and he's been getting probably like 11 to 15 out of like 90 boys though, and he's only in 6th grade, and you run 6th, 7th, and 8th grade together, so it's not like it's a bad thing. I mean, he's literally a foot shorter than everybody else. It's in the top like 30, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's out there and he's working it, and we had the example we explained on a previous episode where he decided to play some basketball for a half hour before he ran, and then he's out there cramping, dehydrated, legs hurt, got like a 20-something. He didn't know why, and we had to teach him how to navigate through that without beating him up, because he was beating himself up enough about it.
Yeah.
But then, sure enough, next race, okay, so what'd you learn from the last one? Just with kindness, I let him kind of learn on this thing. I'm letting him make the decision that he's going to be the one that's going to make some decisions in order, if he wants to get better, you have to do what people do that are better, right?
Well, and that's the key here. I think early on when we started sports with the kids, we would really almost pressure them. You better go practice. You practice this. Did you practice? You know what I mean? And we really felt this need, almost like it was pressure on us that if they didn't perform well, it would almost make us look bad.
Yeah, it'd be like, we're not doing our job here or something. You are trying to navigate this, though. Like, all right, am I doing the right thing? Or should I be pushing them right now? Is this how I help build discipline in them? And I think there's a level of it. But at the same time, you can probably go too far with it, depending on the age they are. That's what we didn't know when our kids were, our first round of kids here coming up. We didn't have any experience. So we're kind of guessing at what we thought.
Well, and I think a lot of it, too, is that we didn't understand that there's plenty of time to play sports.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of time.
It's
like,
so
if
true.
we don't get them in at the soccer youth 5-year-olds, doesn't mean they're not going to play soccer.
Well, there's this
later
stigma
in
that,
life.
oh my gosh, if you don't have them in everything from 5 years old, then by the time they're 9, they're not going to be able to play competitive soccer. And it's not even true. Like, I know this because I didn't even play football until I was a freshman in high school, and I ended up playing Division I football. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was plenty of kids that started at 5 years old, and I destroyed all of them, but so it wasn't like I was really behind.
No.
Anyway, so we've gone through our seasons with this, but we've been teaching Druce now because he's starting to get a little bit older and starting to understand, and he wants to win. And I gave him a goal because when you have a person, kid, whatever, that one of their strength zones is competition, then you almost have to gamify things, and it doesn't hurt them. It actually helps them. So I told them, listen, I'm going to take you to a Boise State football game if you get a top 5 finish. And he's like, okay, Dad.
I got this, right?
Okay, I got this. So he goes through that one. I told him this right before he did the basketball thing. He got like 20-something. That this last time, though, he drank his water early. He didn't eat anything that he shouldn't have eaten that day. He didn't do anything other than just kind of walk the course with another kid who's
Yes,
kind of
which is a
who actually
mentor
won
almost.
Who actually won it that
Yeah,
day.
like a kid that's almost like a mentor to him.
He's
He's done
smart.
well.
He's hanging with like numbered 1, 2, and 3 kids only.
Well, I think the key to that though was for the first time he started paying attention to some of the kids that actually do well and what they're doing beforehand. And the little kid was almost like a mentor to him. He is a good kid.
He's a good kid. 8th grader.
He's an 8th grader. You can tell he comes from a good family, speaks nicely, is very
Encouraging.
competitive, and comes up after the race and said, you did well,
Yeah.
without even needing feedback himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyways, he ends up running this race, and I'm watching him, and we kind of had a game plan. You got to stick within a certain distance of the leaders, and you got to try to pace them. This is your chance. And at the end, it isn't like you try to. Druce doesn't do well trying to run a pace on his own, just because he's not that experienced.
Right.
But if he keeps keying on people in front of him, he'll push to keep that pace. And I just been coaching him like, you have to keep the pace with these top like 4 people, right? Maybe 3. And so he did it this race, and he was going, man. I'm telling you, they were moving. Like, this was by far it was a fast pace. He kept up. And at the very end, he was giving it everything he had. It came down to the wire. He was in 5th place with about 100 yards to go. And, but even battling with the kid in 6th at that point, like back and forth. And the kid in 6th, he has a 2 foot longer stride. And when he turned it on about the same as Druce, he just couldn't keep up. And so Druce got 6th place by like 2 seconds off of 5th, or something like that. And he was almost crying coming across the finish line. And, I'd say I was almost crying watching him, because in a good way. I was so proud of his effort. I was so proud of how much he focused. I was so proud of the improvement from the last time to this time. And nope, he didn't hit his goal. But I will tell you, what a lesson, because now he knows he's so close.
Yeah, I think the cool part for it was that, he, at the very end, like the last maybe 10 feet, I guess, or so, 10 to 15 feet, you could tell he had a side cramp because he had picked it up trying to keep up with the other kid. And he had this side cramp. He's holding on to he just didn't want to let up. The kid obviously was a little bit faster than him still. But the cool part is that when he got in the car, he had this grin on his face, because it was like he didn't hit his goal, but he did his best, and his best was enough in this opportunity.
Yeah, but it was important for us. He gets across that finish line, and he can tell he's like, he just ran the best race he's ever ran, and he is already beating himself up bad. He's really struggling to not cry in front of everybody. And both you and I, though, we just know, like, this is not the time to be like, oh, geez, if you'd have just done a little bit of this or that, you would have had it. Like, he don't need anything. It can almost come across as any kind of criticism, because he's just too. I was just like hugging him, like, I am so proud of you. Like, my gosh. But he's like, Dad, I got 6th. I'm like, Druce, you just got 6th. It's your best time ever. It's your best race ever. I couldn't be more proud of you. Nice job. And he's still kind of beating himself up because he wants that 5th place. I'm like, you got time. You got more of these. You have a chance. And I will tell you, my heart as a dad was almost like, I think I should just say, because you got 6th, you get to go to the Boise State game. And I have to hold myself, because, that's just my father's heart. And I just want, because I know he needs to go earn it. I got to give him the chance to win or lose here. I got to give him the chance to figure it out, because I don't want to build into him that, I want to teach him that you got to go get the job done. But build from this. We still got a couple more meets. You were right there, man. You're so close. And so I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. And we have one on Friday, and he's right there, huh?
Yeah, I think he has it. Like, yeah. I definitely.
It's just there's a balance of knowing when, or just being really careful, I think, of knowing when to offer some criticism / advice, right? Even when he was playing football.
I think the biggest, hardest part about that is, like, as a parent, one of the things I realize is if I'm coming from a place of calmness, and it's like real, like, what my words are bringing are going to be a peace, regardless if it's correction or if it's encouragement, or is it coming from a place of emotion where I'm upset because I just saw he was playing basketball and messing around and not, you know what I mean? Like, then my emotions are kind of like, what happened there? What do you think you did? Like, and like, you can come across that way versus the situation that just happened is like, yeah, he didn't quite make fifth, but it was like an emotion of, I just watched him run his hardest, most amazing sprint ever. Like, this is a time to let him know.
But
like,
it all stems from the fact that we already have philosophy built in.
Right.
See, when you don't have philosophy built in, this would be confusing, right?
Right.
So in other words, the philosophy is your best is enough, but your best is required. Right? I mean, there is a responsibility to be that we expect of you when you play a sport. We don't need you to be number one in everything, but we want you to bring your best. If we're in a competition to compete, we want you to compete at your best.
Well, and we don't want you to sit there and think, I don't have to.
Yeah, so in other words, for us, and not everybody's going to agree with this, but whatever, it's our show, we don't care, right? So this is our philosophy, but it's like we've done this before. Where if you're going to play the sport, then you're going to go out there and you're going to work at it, because we know that that's the life lessons in it. We know that that's what develops you into a winner. We don't want to have this idea of, I'm going to join something just to kind of join it and not really try at it. Like, that's just not who we are. It's not who we want our kids to be. And so we're not the ones that will put our kids in a sport where they don't keep score. Like, we're not doing that, because it's not like there's scores in everything. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it like life. And so we have decided that your best enough, your best required. So to your point a minute ago, if Druce is out there goofing around like he did that day with the basketball stuff and everything, I mean, I didn't go up and hug him at the end of that race. I didn't go up when he got 23rd and be like, great job, you did amazing. I was just like, hey, how you feeling? I was positive. I wasn't like beating him up, wasn't like told you so. We had to hold our tongue for a while, but I'm not going to go up there and edify that, because it wasn't his best, right? But then when he did give his best, I didn't care if he got 6th place or 1st place or 20th place, because I saw it. I watched the whole race and he gave his best, and that's what made me so proud of him, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
What do you got to add?
No, I agree with you. I think that was a good point, is what I'm saying. Like, that's
but you're over there thinking, you got those squinty eyes and they go back and forth really fast, and it's because you're thinking about something.
I don't know.
But you're trying to figure out if you want to say it or not.
I feel like you're giving them a play-by-play over here. What's happening?
Well, it's happening. So what's going on with that, huh?
I'm afraid to say anything. I think you're going to interrupt me. So
Stop it.
Okay. Well, so my thought on it is, yes, of course, I agree with that. That, encouragement for the right purpose of encouragement is what's necessary, not to just give it, even though, they were messing around. I agree with that. But what I was thinking is that even as the kid is sitting there after whatever the situation is, to know what they can expect from their parent is so important. Knowing that, when you try your best, you're going to get that bear hug that says, wow, way to go. Well done.
Yeah,
buddy.
it'll be genuinely noticed.
And we're all screaming and hollering and happy for you. And you get in the car and he was like, Mom, can I drive home with you? And I was like, yeah. And the whole time he's like, so how do you really think I did? And I'm like, I think you rocked it. He's like, but I mean, did you see the sprint towards, it was like he wanted to give me his play-by-play. I'm like, I thought I saw it, but why don't you replay it for me? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, he just wanted to keep talking about it.
He was proud of himself.
Yes, and he wanted to keep talking about it. And the whole way home, we're just chatting about it and whatnot. And then what was neat is that, learning, he said himself, it was a lot different running this race than it was the last one.
After the basketball.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it was a bit different. Don't you think? He's like, I really felt like that one wasn't my best. I'm like, yeah, I'm not thinking it was either. You know what I mean? But it was so neat because he had such a victory. And I think he was just so happy after the basketball one that he had another one to run. Because had the basketball one been his final race of the season, I think he would have been all year round.
Right.
Gosh, I wish I had just ended well.
Yeah.
And it's those are the lessons that we can't teach our kids. They have to figure some of those out themselves.
Yeah.
How ending well is so important.
It is important. And last thing I'll say about this in our last couple minutes here is, another thing that we have learned to do that's very effective is if there are things that happen, even if it was your fault or whether it was out of your control, and you're upset about it. You got a bad score in a golf game.
Yes.
You had a bad race, whatever. Even if you did, we give them some time to kind of live in that emotion, but it's only a window.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe it's an hour, maybe it's a couple hours, something like that. Or if you want to be a little pouty because of this, but okay, once it's over, it's over. Now all we do is we shift gears and we start thinking about solutions, and we start talking through how can you do better? What can be better? Not what you did wrong. How can we do it better? What can we start getting our brains wrapped around? Because again, it's all about making sure we're encouraging that you had a bad race or a bad experience or whatever. However, it doesn't change that you're a champion. So how does a champion respond and actually grow through this and get better and become closer to who you actually are?
That's good. Well, on the next one, maybe we'll chat a little bit about the football game that we just came from.
Okay. We can if you want to. That's another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Dad Coach in full effect.
Oh,
in full effect for that one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.